you for this, since you're trying to hire prompt engineers more so in a research setting? What does that look like? What are you looking for in that type of person?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a mix of, like Zach said, sort of like clear communication. So the ability to just like clearly state things, like clearly understand tasks, think about and describe concepts really well. That's like the kind of writing component, I think. I actually think that being a good writer is not as correlated with being a good prompt engineer as people might think. So I guess I've had this discussion with people because I think there's some argument is like, maybe you just shouldn't have the name engineer in there.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't it just like writer? I used to be more sympathetic to that. And then I think now I'm like, what you're actually doing, like people think that you're writing like one thing and you're kind of like done. And then I'll be like, to get like a semi-decent prompt, like when I sit down with the model, I'll like, like earlier I was like prompting the model and I was just like, in a 15-minute span, I'll be sending like hundreds of prompts to the model.
Yep.
It's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so I think it's this like willingness to like iterate and to like look and think, what is it that like was misinterpreted here, if anything, and then fix that thing. So that ability to kind of like iterate. So I'd say clear communication, that ability to iterate. I think also thinking about ways in which your prompt might go wrong. So if you have a prompt that you're going to be applying to like say 400 cases, it's really easy to think about the typical case that it's going to be applied to see that it gets the right solution in that case and then to like move on. I think this is a very classic mistake that people made. What you actually want to do is like find the cases where it's unusual. So you have to think about your prompt and be like, what are the cases where it'd be really unclear to me what I should do in this case? So for example, you have a prompt that says, I'm going to send you a bunch of data. I want you to extract all of the rows where someone's name is I don't know, starts with the letter J. And then you're like, well, I'm going to send it like a data set where there is no such thing. Like there is no such name that starts with the letter J. I'm going to send it something that's not a data set. Just like I might also just send it an empty string. Like these are all of the cases you have to try, because then you're like, what does it do in these cases? And then you can be like, you can give it more instructions for how it should deal with it.